It's about an ex-boyfriend who comes over to his ex-girlfriend's house and to pick up a few last minute items, and they start talking and they start fighting and they start fucking, and then she sits on his face and he realizes it's dead, and then it ends. Yeah, no, I got incredibly lucky. When I moved to New York, I made a really wonderful community of um, artistic and talented and wonderful people, and a lot of them are in the film community. And then when I wrote this script, when I wrote it, I had no intention of actually making it. I was just like bored and wrote a screenplay for fun and sent it to Heather, and she said, "This is really good. We have to make this." And then the more women that I showed it to, all responded to it really positively, and a lot of women said that they connected to it, and that's been the coolest part. And that's how I knew that I needed to make it. And because it's such a passion project, then I just like pulled favors from all of my friends who are so much more talented and experienced than I am, and they luckily believed in the project and believed in me and took a chance on me as a first-time filmmaker and did it, and I'm just so proud of it. Yeah, I feel very, very lucky.
Yeah, you're able to create quite a good piece of work, I think. Yeah. And the festivals agree, because you've been, how many awards have you gotten?
I think like 7 or 8 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real cool. So what are you thinking of doing next? Are you planning on making any more short films or anything? Do you have anything in mind for the near future? Or yes, talk to me about that.
Yes. Yeah. So before I wrote Hot Girl, a couple of years ago, I wrote this other short script that I think I want to do next. And I think the pattern or theme that I'm noticing in my work with like the story content is that I'm really interested in making like third wave feminist pieces. So I think Hot Girl, I didn't really like even know how to pitch it to people until after it was done. But I think it's just like
After the script was done or after the movie was done?
After the movie was done and watching it a bunch of times. And I'm like, oh, okay, now I think I know what this is about. But I never understood. But I think it just talks about like the weight of all the microaggressions women receive on a daily basis and how they just add up. And so I think I just want to continue talking about the modern day experience of being a woman. So this next piece that I want to do will be about half of the time and hopefully half of the budget of Hot Girl. And it's about an ex-boyfriend who comes over to his ex-girlfriend's house and to pick up a few last minute items, and they start talking and they start fighting and they start fucking, and then she sits on his face and he realizes it's dead, and then it ends.
Hectic. So would that be like a horror, or how would you make it, like the tone of it?
I think it would be a black comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and then I have half of a feature written out, and I need to finish that. But I think that's going to be more about like mental health and the experience of like being a woman with that. But yeah, it's interesting seeing like themes in your work. How many scripts or pieces have you written, and have you, like, what are the themes that you commonly explore in your work?
Well, it's different. So I have 3 short films. The one was like a psychological thriller. The second one was like about this terrorist guy he was actually an ex-soldier who was driven to the point of insanity, and then he takes 2 hostages and live streams it on YouTube. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, but okay, I don't know if you're gonna see it, but at the end, there's a twist. There's the
Okay.
the two hostages that he has. One was a child molester and the other was a human trafficker. And the movie's called The Bad Guy. So the way it's framed, like he's crazy and he's the bad guy. And then it ends up that everyone in the room is actually a bad guy.
Gnarly. That's cool.
Then my other short film, that's an experimental film. It's called Body of Scars. And that's the theme there is how humans tend to destroy themselves. It's like we are our own worst enemies. So it's like represented from an alien's perspective of a woman. And it's like shot like very stylistically. Yeah, so he's like, it's basically explaining why humans are their own worst enemy. But I've like growing up, I've watched like so many movies and I can't pick a favorite movie of mine. I like gangster films. I really like superhero films. I've watched Suicide Squad today. It was really good. Yeah, but in terms of features, I've written the first script I ever wrote was like almost a Western set in like another universe, like another world of South Africa, like in an alternate timeline of South Africa. So it's like a Western, but it has like, it's called A Desire for Vengeance. So it's about a guy who's seeking vengeance and it's just basically like his life story. But right now so I wrote a short film, which I really like the script. It's called The Informant. It's about a young gangster who's faced with the choice of either ratting out on his uncle or facing a life sentence. So I finished that script and I'm thinking there's a lot more to tell in this story. So I have an idea for a feature that I actually started writing yesterday. I just wrote like 10 pages yesterday.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is with me, I feel like I have like all of this stuff like almost ready. And then it's just the pitching part. I'm like, how do I go about that? And then I come up with another idea and I'm like, maybe I should wait or hang on and maybe expand on this idea. But yeah, so there's a different kind of themes and vibes that my films give off. But yeah, I think maybe it's also the budget that made it like almost quite psychological in a way, all the films. Yeah, but you seem to have a theme. It's quite interesting.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I do hear a certain theme in your work though, too. It sounds like you're interested in like exploring like the evil within ourselves or within human nature, which is cool. Yeah, I feel like everyone has like a theme. I mean, we all carry something that we're like interested in. But yeah, I mean, just through like just the experience of being a woman is so wonderful and confusing because it's interesting just how my body has like, I don't know, gotten me noticed in some ways, and then it works against me because people tend to like view me as just a one-dimensional character, a one-dimensional person. And I think a lot of women just struggle with that, especially since we're in this time now, which is so great how like we're in sex positivity and we have people like, like Cardi B talking about sex openly for women, and that's okay now for women to like sex. But then at the same time, like we want to be respected and know that like we can be sexy and also be smart and be taken seriously. I think that is just really interesting.
Catch full episodes of Enter the Muse on Spotify, Anchor FM,